Dice. Rolls. Dragons. Trolls.
Dadventurous.
Welcome to Dadventurous. I don't know why I said it like that. Welcome back again for another week here of ridiculousness. Ridiculousness.
Ness.
Did I say ness?
Yeah, you said ness.
Well, there you go. We are back again to continue on the story of young Kia.
Young 12-year-old Kia.
Flibbit and their adventures and misfits.
I don't know. Is Flibbit young? I honestly don't know. He acts young, but is he like 40 or something?
I think he's young. I would like to imagine he is roughly a similar of age.
Okay.
To you. All right. Are you ready to jump back into this nonsense?
Yopsters. You really don't like that word,
I just don't know what yopsters is.
I don't know either.
You said that last week, too. All right. We are going to be doing a little recap of what happened last time. Are you prepared?
Yes, I am.
All right. Last time, you snuck back in to Wander Wharf, and you saved all your friends. You saved Maude, you saved Harwick, you saved Beryl, with the help of Cabot and the Mojingle and Frogrick and Flibbit, of course, and it was a whole town effort to get saved. You fought off a Scrayclops and eventually met up with your old buddies, and Harwick, the mayor of the town, decided that you guys needed to work together to save the town. Mm-hmm. And he took all of his townsfolk, said that they'd prepared for this, and they all gathered weapons. They all fought back to take back over of Wander Wharf. Maude and Beryl saved her airship, and in the meantime, Harwick had sent Zarr Bloodhoof and a lieutenant down to a stash of his past world tech. However, it was a lie, and Harwick tricked him. And so, Harwick tasked you with being of similar height and shape and build to sneak into his secret trapdoor and go trap Zarr Bloodhoof in a cage where this fake stash of tech was. Harwick had warned you that there might be some sort of creature down there. You went down and you found yourself a very large, bear-sized surge scarab, which hit you with its horns, tried to take over Flibbit's memories, but for the most part...
It's the Texas bughorn.
That's right, the Texas bughorn. And you were able to defeat it. You found a window overlooking into the room where Zarr Bloodhoof was. And he was trapped. You turned the valve, you activated the trap, and he was mad. He was pounding against the wall. He was yelling, "You think this cage can hold me? I've seen worse than this." And he made some vague threats about you and your grandfather. He made a comment about Flibbit, knowing that he was a flump. He said, maybe he's from this same plane of existence as your flump friend. And, he says he's seen more in wild magic storms than you could possibly imagine. And then...
We taunted each other, basically.
You did taunt each other quite well. And then finally, the last trigger of the trap went off, and a scraper golem of sorts emerged from a wall, and Zarr went into battle. You made your way back up to town, told Harwick that you solved the thing, and you implied that it might not hold him for long. Mm-hmm. But...
I just... blinked at Harwick and said, he cracked the window.
He cracked the window by punching it. And you find yourselves being hustled back to Harwick's house, we'll say. On the way, he addresses the town. He tells them to retake your homes, gather up your things, make sure nothing's missing, and we will deal with all of this in the morning. Everybody try to sleep well tonight. And we'll deal with this in the morning, he yells at everybody.
Deal with it in the morning.
Yep, and Harwick leads you to a very nice but very modest mayor's house. Pushes the doors open, and inside there is a waiting room / living room type thing with some couches, a big fireplace, drinks and the snacks in the corner. And he leads you guys in and sets you down. The Mojingle stands in the corner super awkwardly, just kind of looking around. Frogrick stands with him. Cabot and the three of them kind of sitting in the corner. You have In this room, though, you yourself, Flibbit, Maude, Beryl, and Harwick.
Okay. So, first of all, I turn to Maude and say, I have your message thingy.
My message thingy?
Yeah.
Oh, the phone?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's called a phone, and I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you knew what it was, and I'm glad you came after me. Thanks.
I pull it out and hand it back to her.
Thank you. She takes that from you, and she looks at you and she says, well, tell me everything. What happened? The last we talked, we were setting off from Map's Edge, and we had our contracts. I have things I need to share, but how was Coaster Chaos?
I went to Coaster Chaos and found 2 shirts that were very nice shirts.
Okay.
And then I also got the artifact from it.
You did?
Yeah.
And you didn't get attacked? You didn't?
I can't make
most
that sound.
non-committal, just sigh grunt ever.
You remember the Greyclops, right?
Of course.
So it wasn't exactly a Greyclops, but there was definitely a guardian of sorts there.
Oh man. And you were able to
It was a roller coaster.
You fought an entire roller coaster?
Yeah, half of one. I fought the half of a roller coaster.
Man, she like puts her hands up against her head, and she's just like, man, oh man. Okay, and there was no trap.
Other than the roller coaster.
I suppose, yeah, but that could have been anything. That could have just been a scraper.
So I went back and I met this guy named Cabot Cranberry.
Cabot goes, huh, me? Yes, what? Yes. I met young Kia and we traveled together.
We traveled back to Map's Edge.
And met all the lovely people in that town. And
While a wild magic storm was going on?
Yes, and I'm writing a book about creatures of elsewhere. And he pats the moon jingle.
And I say, so I came back to Map's Edge. There was a wild magic storm going on. Everybody was going to the scrape to be safe. I met Frogrick there as well.
Yes. Well, we did meet. It is nice to meet you, madam. And he bows.
And after everybody was safe, I fought a purple bug thing called a surge scarab, right, Cabot?
Yep. We are calling them surge scarabs. Fascinating.
And after I did that, everybody was there and safe, and so I went, because I hadn't heard anything from you, I went to Retail Ruins, and I didn't see you there, so I went in and tried to search for you, but as soon as I caught sight of the surged artifact, which was very close to the entrance, I got attacked by more of those purple surge scarabs, which I'm assuming was your note that said trap.
Yes, yeah. Oh, man.
Or your
I didn't
message.
know you went back to Retail Ruins.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I was trying to get a hold of you. I'm an elf. I can trance, right? I didn't sleep much that night.
Yeah.
I went to Retail Ruins very quickly. And when I got there, I snuck in at night. I head over to that location and just like Theodora had said, there was something there. I had that feeling we both have.
Yes.
But as I approached, there was some hooded figure that was guiding surge scarabs that you're calling them into the warehouse, like leading them like a Pied Piper type of thing. And they actually, I could sense the lamp.
Yeah.
They were actually placing it in that room. Somebody was setting it up.
So, but it was still a surged artifact. I still got it. I got it. I brought it back to Map's Edge. We're doing that story later. But there's a person. Is that the trap that you talked about? Because you talked about not going back to Map's Edge because there is a trap. I went back anyway because I wanted to,
No, it wasn't Map's. It was. I don't know. Somebody knew about the artifact, and somebody knew where and when I was going to be there. I think I just got there quicker.
Oh.
And when I tried to call you, I said, don't go back to Map's Edge. Retail Ruins not safe. And as I got closer, I snuck up on that person. She looks at Harwick and Beryl and she goes, we have Well, we have some skills.
Yeah.
We've talked about this
Yes,
a little
yes.
bit. I snuck up, and I saw that the person seemed to be wearing a Bloodhound logo.
Ah, that's what you talked about. Okay.
And so
okay.
it seemed to be a trap set by the Bloodhounds. I was going to go find out why. I was afraid to use the Rocky Talkie because how would they have known?
Yeah.
What could have led them to that?
Yeah.
And so I sent out that call immediately to get to you, but I haven't wanted to use it since. And unfortunately, I was too loud and I got attacked.
By the surge scarabs or by the person?
By the person and some people they were with them. But
Wait, there were more people?
yeah, it was dark though, and I didn't get a good look at them.
Okay.
But I was able to escape. I tussled with one, and I took this off of him, and she pulls out a letter.
Oh.
And I managed to get away.
What's it say? What's it say?
And I read it already. It was referencing an artifact list and a Reginald Goldsworth. And I went to Athon.
Reginald.
Yeah, I went to Athon, and I went.
Yeah, just like ears back, stares at the ceiling.
I take it you met him?
It's just like,
Yeah.
yes, he's the worst person in the world other than Zarr. He's, yep.
Hey, that guy gave you 200 gold.
Hey,
Clips.
he's still mean and
But she
overly
shows
pompous.
you the list, and she goes, yeah, it doesn't look like he was a part of it. It looks like he was a target.
Oh,
And there's something about a cap,
Wait.
a hat of some kind.
wait, hang on. Can I
She
can I
hands
see
it
the
to
list?
you. Mhm.
She scans the Reginald Winston Goldsworth section. Is it just the cap, or is there more stuff?
There was no other surged artifacts, but there was referencing the fact that he had a lot of artifacts.
Okay. She hands it back to Maude
Okay, Maude takes it.
and says, "Good news for you. I also have the cap."
You got that?
Yeah. Let me continue my story. So
All right, go ahead.
after getting passed out, I was saved by Beryl here from her airship.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Beryl's
Beryl.
yeah, no problem. I filled her in a little bit, but go ahead.
And we went to Briarport together. We kind of spent 2 days in town to rest up. I had a bit of shenanigans. The Bloodhounds basically are setting up shops. But you know Greta, right?
Yeah, I know Greta. I met with her.
Yeah. That's what she said. So her shop burnt down.
Right.
The Bloodhounds burnt it down.
Oh.
That's my theory, anyway. We don't
Well,
know.
it's starting
now.
to make sense.
But when they built a new shop a couple blocks down, just a couple blocks down, not to be suspicious, called, yeah, it's the worst pun, Goods Enough.
Good's enough. Okay.
Their
no,
motto
actually,
is, it's not just good, it's goods enough.
Well,
yeah.
that is bad. That is bad.
Yeah. And I basically went in and bought some stuff before I realized that it was a Bloodhound shop. Stuff still turned out to be pretty useful. But to my knowledge, it's stolen stuff.
Oh, so they're stealing people's stuff and selling it.
Yeah, to like earn money, but only the little stuff. Like I pull out the little enchanted yarn ball and say, like this. Actually, very useful.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I snuck onto a Bloodhound ship and grabbed a list of possible targets. I pull it out and show it to her and say, Beryl's on here. Greta is crossed out on here. I'm assuming the crossed out means they've already raided them.
Yeah. And Maude looks at that list pretty heavily and she goes, oh, this is what you're talking about, Beryl? And Beryl's like, yep. And she's like, I recognize quite a few names on this list.
You do?
Yeah. Like people I know.
Oh.
Various.
Okay.
Most of them are crossed out already.
Yeah. And so I roll that up and put it back and then say, unfortunately, someone spotted me because I was followed through town by some bloodhounds to our inn room where I fought with a bloodhound and tied him up with the very handy-dandy, kind of ironic enchanted yarn ball. He's probably still tied up somewhere. Nobody can cut it except me.
Wow, kid, that's pretty funny.
And then I basically helped Greta fight off Scraper in the sewer system, whatever it's called, the water control room, and escaped Briarport, whereupon with Beryl, whereupon we went back to Retail Ruins to grab the lamp, successfully saved the lamp. So we have it, or Theodora has it, and we went back to Map's Edge just in time to see a beam go off from Theodora's tower and summon a wild magic storm.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Beryl's like, yeah, I didn't get a chance to tell you about this part, but it was bad, Maude.
Yeah, it was real bad. Zarr was there.
Maude's like, okay.
Zarr was there.
Yep.
Had an argument, according to Theodora, with Theodora and my grandfather, and forced turned on the projector, which summoned a wild magic storm.
Summoned a storm.
Yep, and
boy.
directly over Map's Edge. There wasn't enough time.
Is everybody alive? Everybody's fine?
They're probably alive.
Okay.
They're ported,
Oh.
like heavily ported, like everybody except Theodora,
Man.
like everybody.
Well,
I found some people. They're heading back to Map's Edge and Athon.
okay.
They were teleported to Athon, but I think most of them went up north to Scarlet Hill.
Dang.
Yeah. After that, I got a new device. I got a new vehicle and chased Zarr down all the way to Athon, where I met he escaped my grasp. Well, he didn't quite escape my grasp. But I chased Zarr down to Athon, where I met Reginald, and he was having an auction selling past world stuff. And a witch named Calvacia helped me kind of grill Reginald into letting me into the auction, whereupon I sat there and waited until he revealed a Scrayclops, a deactivated Scrayclops, up for auction.
Mm-hmm.
That's Reginald. But then Zarr basically showed up, stole the show, and he has that little remote thingy.
Yeah, I saw that.
It controls Scrayclopses.
Oh, boy.
You can press a button and turn them on.
Oh, boy.
And so he turned it on and had it basically attack everybody. But me and Calvacia fought it off. Reginald cowered in the corner, being Reginald. I chased Zarr into the warehouse behind the auction stage, whereupon I found the hat. Me and him, that turns out that's what he came for, and so he grabbed the hat.
Mm-hmm.
I shot it out of his grasp. And then basically a fight ensued. That's the first time he's seen me. But a fight ensued. With help of Calvacia, we eventually sneaked it out of his pocket, grabbed the hat, and he drove off away thinking he had the hat and dropped your phone where you left a message on.
I sure did.
And that's where I found that. And then he drove off thinking that he had the hat. And now he doesn't, so he's mad. And so basically, after a talk with Reginald about my rewards and him doing community service, I went off again. I went to Bramble Beach, participated in, get ready for it, Sandscape Day!
Oh, I've heard of Sandscape Day. You got to participate?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Oh,
just
good.
A little vacation, right?
Yeah.
I actually got second place, I think.
Nice.
Yeah. But apparently they had a scraper outbreak like 20 years back that they managed to seal them in the old subway system there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been through there before.
Yeah. So one of the fireworks misfired.
Oh, no.
And hit the barricade.
Oh.
So all the scrapers got out, 20-year-old scrapers, and basically the entire village fought them off. The second Bramble Scramble in the history of Bramble Beach.
Wow.
I fought them off, finally destroyed all of them instead of capturing them. And then I went off on my way again to Wonder Wharf, where I met Cabot and Frogrick, who were watching from the sidelines. While I saw you guys arguing with Zarr off in the distance, we basically went on a big, long trek up the mountain to go get the Mojingle to help us.
Mojingle.
Yes, that guy.
It's from the corner.
And after fighting a couple large scraper guardians, we found the Mojingle, got him to help us. He gave me this new bow. Also, you can have your longbow back if you want.
Oh, I would love it back. Thank you.
So I give it to her.
Nice.
And then
that is a nice looking bow you got there.
Yeah, it does extra damage to scrapers. It's really nice.
Whoa, cool.
Flibbit.
Yeah.
Do the thing.
Oh, like the sparkles and stuff. Oh! I do remember that now. Okay.
Don't remember.
Well, just by you saying "do the thing," no, I have no.
thing.
He does lots of things. Okay, so he adds background effect too, and adds that like glowing hum of power. She goes, ooh, wow, nice.
And then we came back out. And, also I figured out by finding the Mojingo, I also figured out what the hat does. And I pull it out and I say, it's like blueprints, blueprints. It basically, when we're near a past world rune, it gives me a blueprint of that.
Whoa, that's extremely helpful.
The build plan, the things moving inside of it, it's really helpful.
Whoa.
And so then I came back to Wonder Wharf,
Yep.
snuck through town, stuck up to the top floor of the City Hall, sat down, worked my way into the crowd, and then you know what happens from there.
I suppose I do. Man, what a tale. What a tale. Well,
Then I went to the well and turned a valve, and now Zarr is stuck in there with an 8-foot scraper with cannons on its arms.
Wonderful. And she looks to Harwick.
Harwick, you really did think of everything.
Yep, thank you. I am mayor for a reason.
Yes, I can see that.
And she says, well, I knew some of that story from my end, but I got out of that trap, and I set off for Athon. I was just on foot, though.
Mm-hmm.
And, I made my way through the bog, met some interesting witches.
Oh, they talked about you.
Yeah, I got a coffee from a stand somewhere.
I did. Green bean coffee?
Yeah.
The, Mirabelle?
Mirabelle, yep, and creme.
Yeah, Mirabelle and creme. Mirabelle? Okay. Such good coffee. Great person. But her whole act that she gets stuck in of being a really creepy witch, she will literally sneak up on you, and when you turn around, she'll be 2 inches from your face. It's crazy.
That sounds creepy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I got my coffee and I went into the town of Athon, but I was just laying low. I actually saw when the bloodhounds rolled into town.
Oh.
And I was already searching.
I was only like a day behind that.
Yeah, I think we were almost there on the same day because
Yeah.
I was searching around Reginald's auction house. I was trying to figure out how he was involved and what this cap was. Maybe it was a surged item. I didn't know for sure. And I saw Zarr and his team come in.
Oh, Reginald talked about how security had spotted a cloaked horned figure, exactly 10 feet tall, barge in and try to steal things, but failed. I assumed that was Zarr.
That was Zarr, and he failed because I triggered the alarm. I saw him sneak into the auction house, and I didn't want him to get what we were there for. I still don't know, but it seems like maybe the bloodhounds are setting up the traps. I don't know. But I triggered the alarm and got him scared away, but it sounds like
Imagine.
sounds like he didn't.
He's surprisingly sneaky for a 10-foot tall guy with horns.
He seems to be surprisingly a lot of things.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was not able to escape from that encounter. I triggered the alarm. He caught up with me with his lackeys. They threw me in the back of their vehicle, and I've been with them ever since. They were keeping me tied up in the back until we got here to Wander Wharf.
Why'd they let you go? Do you know?
They just let me go to round us all up together.
Oh.
And she looks over at Harwick, and Harwick kind of gives her a furrowed brow look, and she looks over at Beryl, and Beryl gives her a furrowed brow look, and she goes, I think we've mentioned it before, but we, the three of us, don't exactly have a good relationship.
You don't have a...
Yeah,
you don't. Yeah, I've heard that. You two are kind of like your enemies.
Yeah.
You're not. Well, yeah.
Yeah, no,
enemies.
that would be a good way to put it. Do you? And Harwick looks up and he's like, "Look, the time for secrecy and all that stuff is over. We clearly need to put some stuff on the table so that young Kia here is more up to speed."
Yes, please get me up to speed.
And Beryl's like, "Oh boy, this will be fun." So Harwick speaks up and he goes, "Look,
Kia's ears
Kia,
go back.
Right? Kia, Flippers, wonderful. I'm so happy you came and helped us. You were amazing. And let's tell you a little bit about Harwick, Beryl, and Maude."
Kia raises her eyebrow in interest. Oh,
I haven't been a mayor forever.
Mm-hmm.
And Beryl's like, "Yeah, no, I wasn't always an alchemist either. We talked about this a little.
Yes, we did.
We, the three of us, were once known as the Corsairs.
Ooh.
And we used to run around and, hard to admit it to a fellow rummager, but we would steal past world tech.
Kia's ears go flat on her head.
And she goes, Harwick goes, but it was only ever from people who deserved it.
Okay.
Rich folk, corporations.
Okay, I thought you were okay.
Not from the general public.
Okay, that's better. That's much better. Her ears go back up.
But we did this.
I did that to Reginald, so
Yeah, we did this for a while, and eventually we actually stumbled upon something after a decade or so of working together as the Corsairs. We stumbled onto a very tall, glittery rock, glittery boulder down near
the glittery boulder.
Do you know of it?
I went inside it.
And he looks over at Maude. Maude just kind of shrugs.
She gave me permission.
Okay, and she goes, "She saved my life." And Harwick's like, "Okay, well."
Also, I have a question about said glittery rock that I've been thinking about for several weeks now. Since I got into the glittery rock. Why does Zarr have a door in there, and why does it have Bloodhound paraphernalia inside it? Yeah, I opened it, kind of. I also got thrown against the wall.
Okay, yeah. And he looks over at Beryl, and Beryl goes, "Oh, that happened to you too?"
I opened Zarr's door.
Well, did you actually open it, or did you just get a peek?
Well, I tried to open it and got thrown 10 feet against the wall, and then I peeked inside it again. It was chained from the inside. And I got a peek inside of it and had a big Bloodhound banner and tons of chests.
Beryl goes, "Yeah." And she shows you a scar on her back. She's like, "That was from mine.
Oh.
Long time ago." We stumbled onto that. It was a cache. At first we just noticed the Z on the door. Mm-hmm. We just assumed it was somebody whose name was started with a Z. And back then the Bloodhounds weren't really a thing too much. But there was a lot of gear in there, a lot of past world tech. We made the most of it. And Harwick goes, yes. So we found the gear. It clearly had been abandoned for some time.
Also, there were 2 blown out doors. Did you blow them out?
That may or may not have been us. And Beryl was like, "Yeah,
so.
No, I definitely did that."
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So we blew out those 2 doors and gathered up all the stuff, and we made lives for ourselves. We decided it was time to done being the Corsairs. And time to move on to other things, this stroke of good luck, finding this cache. We started using the cache for personal use. No one ever seemed to come by. Whoever the Z door was, we didn't bother with it too much, and we moved on to different things. I eventually started getting into local politics, and Beryl went off to become an alchemist, working for the town of Briarport. Maude, though, and Maude goes, "Yeah, I couldn't give it up."
That's understandable.
So I went and got my license and started rummaging legally. Been doing that for a long time.
How long? When did you guys break up?
Oh, that was probably about 15 years ago.
Wow.
Maybe. But we've seen each other since then.
Yeah.
But anyway, a couple of years back, we got into communication about the rise of the Bloodhounds. The Bloodhounds and their leader, Zarr Bloodhoof. And we all started to think a little bit harder about the cache and the Z door and how much wealth and power there was in there. So we revisited the old cache and we tried to get in, just as you did, to the locked door. And unfortunately to no avail, but we also were able to understand what this glittery rock was and who it belonged to. Years later, still no one came.
He hasn't come by.
No one came by. So we didn't think much of it. We went on our way, and Beryl went back to being an alchemist, and I went back to being mayor, but Maude couldn't let it go. And she loved to hunt a little too much, and it was a little hard for her to put the Corsair life behind her. And Maude goes, "Yeah, so for the last couple of years, I may or may not have been picking on the Bloodhounds, we'll say."
I would have done it too.
And she goes, and Harwick goes, "Yes, and so we had a system. Maude would steal from the Bloodhounds, Beryl would identify the tech, figure out its uses, and I would maybe use my mayoral privileges to sell it to certain people and get money that way. Needless to say, we had a bit of a reputation still. No one knew exactly who we were, but we made some enemies with the Bloodhounds.
That sounds just about like me and Zarr.
Yeah, I think unfortunately now the cat's out of the bag, as it were, and I'm pretty sure Zarr knows exactly who we are. And Maude's like, yeah, he definitely knows. And so that's where we are now.
I see.
Any questions?
What happened to Zach? A guy who used to be part of your team?
So you're thinking of your grandfather.
Oh, the Z guy. That's what I'm thinking. Was his name Zach? I honestly
Zax with an X.
Zax.
And you
Fantasy names.
are thinking of your grandfather and Theodora.
Never mind.
But I will say, why don't you roll for me a history check?
What? To remember if his name is Zax or not?
No.
I actually have a ridiculously high history. 22.
A 22. You're starting to put this together. You have this group, right? You have this group, Maude, Beryl, Harwick, Roman the Scrape, or Roman elsewhere, snatching up past world gear, working together as a team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there is some similarities you're kind of remembering to what Theodora and Gunther have talked to you about and the crew they used to run, where they were a rummager crew, right?
And those members were Gunther, Theodora, Gunther's wife, and Zax, which her name was, I don't remember it. Oh, Gunther's wife.
Oh, it was Tilda.
Tilda, right.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. And, but yeah, it's not so much that you're like remembering anything, but as you're thinking about Zax and whatnot, like there's some similarities in terms of like, oh, like a whole nother like generation of rummagers hanging out together, forming a team. This seems to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so your grandfather's generation, quite a bit older.
Yeah.
Maude's generation doing their thing as the Corsairs. Venturing squads.
Have you, Maude?
Yes, Kia?
You, to my knowledge, did you know Theodora before things?
No, I didn't, but Beryl did. A little bit.
Beryl.
Yup.
Were Theodora's / my grandfather's team ever had a name?
Ever had a name? I don't.
Zax, Tilda, Theodora, and Gunther.
Yeah, no, I know. I know of them, and I've heard stories of Theodora. She and Gunther a little bit. They definitely got up to it for a while.
Gunther was a really good rummager.
He was, from what I know. Theodora and I did some business over the
Yeah.
years. She'd buy things from me, but nothing more than passing. I'd have to rack my brain a little bit. And Harwick peeks up and he goes, well, I could probably help with that. Give me a minute. And he goes off to his desk and starts rummaging through.
Rummaging.
Ha 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 ha. All right, go ahead. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
I say help with that? By which means? I see you have lots of notes and things. In your desk.
I've kept tabs on certain things, and I will say Maude may have been the one who couldn't let it go in terms of rummaging, but maybe I had a hard time letting certain things go either. He goes up and starts looking through stuff, and he eventually pulls out like a journal.
While he's doing this, Kia pulls out her endless yarn ball and is quietly fidgeting with the string of it.
Okay. And he finally pulls it out, and he's looking through, and he's going, Theodora, Gunther, Zax, Tilda, here it is.
Dad?
And he plops down a book, and it's like a list of various famous rummagers of times past. And it looks more like a handwritten journal type thing. And he opens it up, and he goes, oh yeah, this was a long time ago, but check this out. And he puts it down, and there's this tab called The Scroungers.
The Scroungers?
The Scroungers. And you see a hand-drawn portrait of the old squad.
Oh.
And you see Gunther.
Young
Turtle Gunther.
Yeah.
You see young Harengon. Tilda. You see Theodora, the human old lady, right? She's an old lady now, but she was young then, had a ponytail behind her head. And then you see a individual, this taller guy, furball looking kind of thing, bowl-shaped nose and tiny little horns on his head, and he was wearing glasses. And that must be Zax.
Oh.
And Harwick goes, whoa, I've heard of the Scroungers. And they're all like, oh, the Scroungers? And there's like all this like rummager lore. Like You've even probably heard a couple stories of the Scroungers
Just
who,
never
like,
knowing who.
found some like epic scrapes, but Gunther never exactly told you what his team name was or what they got up to.
Oh. I say, wow, did you draw this?
No. I bought this book years ago off a scholar who was researching different rummaging teams and things like that.
I turn does the cover have anything written on it?
No, it's just like a leather-bound journal.
Is there a title page on the inside?
There doesn't really seem. It's just like history of rummagers type thing, but it's not.
No author.
No author. No, nothing like it's not like mass published.
Yeah.
It's just like somebody's list of stuff. And Cabot runs over and he's like,
Can
I see that?
Is this yours? I just wanted to.
And he starts scrolling through it and he goes, No, but I would have loved this years ago when I wrote my book about the Rummager's Guide to Elsewhere. This would have been fascinating to have. And he's like staring off into the middle distance and he's like, I must write another book.
I slowly take it back from him and hand it back to Harwick.
And
say, Cabot gets eccentric.
And Cabot looks at Harwick and he's like, we are going to chat.
Like I said.
And Harwick's like, well, I think that's kind of catching everybody up to speed. What do you think, Maude? Maude's like, yeah, no, I think you're right. Well, what else? What are we going to do from here? Your grandfather's missing?
Gone north.
Bloodhound territory.
Yep.
Well,
do you know? Have you ever been to Scarlet Hill? I hear it's a big city, like bigger than Athlon. But
yeah, I've been. It's big. What's your question?
I've heard that Zarr is mayor there. Do you know the history of said earlier mayors?
Up until a couple of years ago when the Rise of the Bloodhounds happened, it was just a town like any other, like Athlon. It was run by a governor, I think, or a mayor, a different type. I don't know. I didn't know him. But ever since Zarr took over and started to rise to power, he's been the guy. He's been the leader.
Did the old mayor, to your knowledge, just like disappear from knowledge, or did he?
I have no idea.
I
think we'd have to go to Scarlet Hill to find that out.
I say, Cabot, you know lots of stuff.
I do.
Would any of that research be perhaps centered on cities, on the cities of elsewhere?
I've also been to Scarlet Hill, but I admit that I wasn't there at the time to research politics or governments or anything like that, so I also am unsure.
What I'm wondering is whether Zarr, being the person he is, took the role in an actual election. Kind of doesn't sound like it.
Maude goes, what I know about the Bloodhounds and them stealing tech and open up stores, I bet they stole that mayor role right out from under him.
Yeah.
All right, kid. Well, I'm glad we're able to catch up.
Yes.
We need to rest.
Yes, we do.
And tomorrow, I think we got a big day ahead of us. And Harwick pipes up and he goes, well, first and foremost, we need to formulate a plan because as of my guess is soon,
Zarr will break out.
Wander Wharf is not going to be on good terms with Scarlet Hill. And Beryl's like, yeah, I kind of blew up any chance that I had at staying on the good side of the Bloodhounds about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And Maude's like, well, they know me now too, so we're kind of all in the same boat. And sounds like Kia is
I don't think
maybe
he knows
the top.
my name.
He might not know your name, but I think he knows you now.
Yeah, he does.
And
I don't think he knows what he did to anger me, except that I've been in a very heavy annoyance on his mission.
Yeah, Maude's like, you and me both, kid, and then she holds up a fist bump. And Harwick's like, well, perhaps we need to be proactive. And at about that time, you hear a loud rumble.
I say, that must be him.
Yeah, and Harwick's like, yep, I had a feeling.
Yeah.
And you guys all rush outside and you look towards the well. Bursting through the well with a giant steel fist.
Steel fist?
Yep, you see emerging from the well, climbing out, is that scraper golem.
Oh. I turn to Maude and say, the remote.
Yep, and as it climbs out and pulls itself fully up, you see Zarr is riding on top of its shoulders like a piggyback. And
Wait,
the
it's big enough for
tiefling
that?
is riding on top of Zar's shoulders in a 3-tall piggyback. And he's holding the remote in his hand.
We gotta get I think Kia just looks at this completely unexpecting this like threefold piggyback and just like whispers to herself like, we gotta get a picture of this. Like, this is amazing.
And he climbs out of it and he's holding that remote, and the eyes of the scraper have gone the same color as that blue in the remote. And Zarr looks down the street, he looks at the town, he sees that all of his bloodhounds are dangling from the airship, and the townsfolk have taken it back over. And he zones in his eyes on you and Harwick and Maude and Beryl, and he goes, "This isn't over. When I get back to Scarlet Hill, Wander Wharf and the Corsairs and everybody else who's ever messed with Zarr Bloodhoof are going to feel my horns." And then
Does he do that?
he does the rock-on symbol, yeah. And then he activates the thing.
I say, you like music?
And he goes, "Rock on!" No, and then he activates the remote, and he turns, and he flees.
I yell after him, "Coward, you done this before."
And he just growls in the night as he disappears. And Harwick goes, "Well, yeah, that's about exactly what I was thinking would happen.
Yeah.
We're on a ticking clock. We should rest." So, bounding through the forest is a scraper with tracks and 2-arm cannons bearing Zarr and the tiefling on his back. And Zarr is bellowing in anger.
Wow. I say, we just gotta get a picture of this. It's amazing.
And
Perfect.
And Maude looks at you and she's like, "Well, what do you want to do? You got to get to your grandpa."
Somewhere north.
So, do you think Scarlet Hill's a good call?
Probably. Zarr acted trying to change the subject when I talked to him about it, trying to set me off from Gunther and the others being in Scarlet Hill, which leads me more to believe that either he did not know they were in Scarlet Hill, or he does know they're Scarlet Hill and they're holding them prisoner.
Well, I think there's about one option for us then. And Maude looks at Beryl, and Beryl goes, "Ready to go flying again?"
Yes.
All right.
Just if there's more than one dragon this time, that might be bad.
Yeah. We'll figure it out as we go. And
Yes, Maude. We also fought a dragon together.
yeah, Beryl told me. That's pretty impressive. Nicely done.
It was a small
Some
dragon.
Corsair material, if I've ever said it. Beryl goes, "Yeah." And Harwick goes, all right, you two. Enough of that. We need to get our rest.
Oh, come on, Harwick.
Hey, I've got a town to run.
Okay.
We got to get our rest. And you guys need to get on your way.
Yeah.
And he shows you guys to a side room, shows you some food. You guys are able to have a feast. If you have any more questions or concerns, they can come up. But you are able to finally take your long rest.
Because I was hurt. I only had about a little over half of my hit points.
Yeah, you were pretty beat up.
I was down to 14 hit points.
14.
When you did that 13 damage.
Yeah, I knew you were probably pretty low.
Yeah.
So, you are able to take a rest. It's been, it's nighttime. As you came in, we'll say you wake up mid-morning, and Harwick, Maude, Beryl there with some breakfast. Cabot's there as well. And you guys...
Are there pancakes?
We'll say no. There's fish tacos for breakfast. Yep.
What an item to have for
Wander
breakfast.
Wharf is a fishy place.
Kia loves it anyway because
Yeah.
she eats fish.
And you guys discuss the plan. Maude and Beryl go, "Well, Kia, I guess we're going to head. We'll take you. We'll go north together.
Yeah.
We'll get as far as we can towards Scarlet Hill. But unless you want to go separate, you have your vehicle as well.
Wait, where did I leave my...
It's on the cliffs outside, basically.
Harwick, are you coming with or are you staying here?
Unfortunately, I've got a town to run. I will prepare us, and I will take some, and maybe we will meet you in Scarlet Hill."
I might leave my bike in town.
And he looks over it, and he's like,
If that's fine.
I mean, if you're fine with it, I might
Yeah?
use it.
I open up the fuel tank and say, it runs on these and these. And I hold up the bag of bog flowers. Use these if you want to go real fast.
Okay. And he
That's
goes,
all the instructions you
"I'll
need.
keep it ready for you. What do you guys think? A couple a week to get to Scarlet Hill?
I look at Beryl since I
Beryl's
don't know
like-
the speed.
Beryl's like, give me about half of those bog bloom flowers.
Do you think they'll work?
Harwick's like, okay. And he hands him over. And she's like, well, there's only one way to find out.
I turn to Maude and say, so you know green bean coffee, right?
Yeah.
Turns out the bog bloom flowers that they grow there
Mm-hmm.
are real speedy.
Oh, they work in the bike?
Yep.
And she looks at Beryl and she goes, you think they'll work in the ship?
All you have to do is blend them.
Beryl goes, we'll figure it out. And she's like, if these babies work the way I think they might, let's go for 4 days.
That's fast.
4 days to Scarlet Hill. Well, provided we don't run into any trouble. And Harwick's like, well, it'll take us longer to get there. It'll take us probably about a week.
Okay.
But we'll meet you there in a week. And we'll bring the might of the Corsairs and Wonderwolf. And I mean, I'll bring some folks that will help out.
I hold out my hand.
To Harwick.
Yeah.
He holds out his hand. Are we shaking?
Yeah.
He gives you a big shake, big firm shake.
I say, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mayor Harwick.
Kia, it was a pleasure, an honor, and just a whole lot of fun.
Agreed.
We'll see you in a week. And then him, Beryl, and Maude all give each other a hug. And then
I give him a salute.
A salute. Cabot runs over to you and he's like, Kia.
What?
I heard what you're doing. But I think we need to get the Mojingle home, back to its den.
Oh.
And so Frogrick and I we are going to continue on our way, but you're heading north?
Yes.
All right, well, we'll journey that way.
Okay.
And we'll...
After you get the Mojingle back.
Yes, we got to take it home. The Mojingle has done its duty. The trade is done. And I don't know if we can really count on it for much longer.
Yes. I turn to the Mojingle, who's probably just standing there.
He's standing there shaking a little bit.
I say, thank you for your help and for the items.
Mojingle. And he holds his hand out and then he just kind of wiggles his fingers against your palm, not really sure how a handshake works.
I shake his hand up and down.
Oh, okay. And he goes, Mojingle shake?
Yes.
Okay. Mojingle, bye-bye. And he pats you on the head really hard.
Kia bends down and then rubs her ears and smiles up at him.
Yeah, and he goes, Mojingle, bye-bye. And he just turns and walks away. And Cabot's like, oh, okay, we're going now.
Bye.
I'll see you soon. And Frogrick's like, thank you, Kia. And they chase off after the Mojingle.
Just turns and
Yeah.
strides away. Wow.
And you guys finish up your breakfast. Flibbit comes over to you after a little bit, and everybody's kind of gearing up to go on their way. And Flibbit goes, well, that was another classic Kia and Flibbit adventure where we basically almost died.
Yep.
You ready to do it again?
No.
No.
But also yes.
No.
I'm ready because I have to.
You know what? I feel the same. And he goes,
Let's have some fun.
some
On the
fun,
way.
huh?
Yeah.
You know, I saw you do that cool little teleport maneuver, and I felt pretty cool about that.
Yeah.
What?
Who knows? Maybe you can do some of it too. Being from a different, Zarr claimed, being from a different plane of existence.
Yeah, I
Not quite
was
sure
a
what that
little
means.
bit concerned about that because it seemed like he knew what I was. Did you
Maybe-
notice that?
Yeah. Maybe he just knows you from sight. Yeah, I mean, you're pretty unique. So maybe
Yeah, but everyone else we've run into so far,
including
Gunther,
Gunther,
Theodora,
and
didn't know what I was.
yeah. So-
Zarr did. So I'm a little
He
bit
said
concerned
he's
about that.
seen
That
a
was
lot of stuff.
He did say that. I don't know what that means, but I'm okay with finding out together.
I clasp a tentacle in both hands and say, "We're doing it together, right?"
Right. And
And I
He-
shake it.
and he shakes you back as well. And we are going to end our session as you climb aboard Beryl's ship with Maude. Wave goodbye to Harwick, and he's checking out your moto wheeler, and you.
I say, "Take good care of the motor wheeler. Don't break it.
I'll
Gunther
do my
built it."
best. Don't worry, and I'll have it ready for you when the time comes. And you guys sail off into the sunset.
That's
Well, the sunrise.
sunrise.
As you make your way north towards Scarlet Hill, and with you and Flibbit standing there, resolved in your battle resolved and you're finding your townsfolk and Gunther and saving them, you level up to level 6. And so we will deal with that.
As I raise and point in the general direction of north and say, onward to Scarlet Hill.
Sweet. And that is where we are going to end our session this time. And we will let you level up the next time you play.
Thank you all for listening.
Thank you indeed for listening. That was a good one. We will go ahead and be back next week for more adventures and see where Kia may be the newest member of the Corsairs.
We'll go next.
All right. Thank you all for listening.
We'll see you next time.
Give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a
comment or review.
Maybe just good vibes. You can just
Good
send
vibes.
those our way.
Yeah.
Well, we won't know,
Yeah, we won't know.
but we'll feel them
Will we?
through the magic of friendship.
I don't know. I mean, we probably don't know these people.
No, that's true. But I think we know them deep down on the level of the friendship spirit. I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's
anymore.
like some Carl stuff.
Yeah, man.
That's something Carl would say.
Carl, let's do a smash cut real quick. Carl sitting in Briarport. Skrick the goblin. Chaos. The shop got partially burnt. The shipment exploded. Briarport went crazy. Carl's sitting behind a desk, watching all the chaos of the bloodhounds going crazy. And he's just going, man, this is righteous, man. And about that time, Brad walks in. I think Brad
Brad was his name. Carl and Brad.
Carl and Brad, and they go. And he goes, sup, Brad? And Brad goes, sup, Carl? And they fist bump, and they go, you ready to go hit the waves? And Carl goes, right on, man. And they surf off into the sunset.
Just straight.
And that's where we'll end. All right. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time on
Dadventurous.